Hello there, good morning. And I wanted to just update you really on LLF and LLF in 2025 and 2026. This is the most recent video I've done on LLF. And I wanted to, if you like, give you straight from the horse's mouth, make it very short, make it very pithy. So I used the Church of England's own discussion document on LLF to see where they are at and how evangelicals should respond. They talk about in their current document, it's that the journey with LLF is part of a journey. It's a bit of a truism, really, a bit of a cliche, but they talk about it being a part of a journey. They talk also, secondly, about changing views in society, and that is a direct quote. So changing views in society. I don't think the Apostle Paul referred to changing views in Rome, and changing views in Athens, or changing views in Jerusalem, but the C of E talk about changing views in society, and obviously that's quite important to them because they feel they ought to be changing doctrine and changing core values because of changing views in society. And then they are going to carry on giving consideration on removing restrictions for clergy entering same-sex civil marriages, and that is a quote. And by autumn 2025, there will be a report for Synod. But 5 comments, really, 5 core key comments about the C of E and LLF so far. The C of E, the Church of England, has taken its foot off the accelerator in terms of LLF. That doesn't mean that they're not working behind the scenes. They are very much working behind the scenes. They're spending time, they're spending money, and a considerable amount of resources on LLF. The final proposals will go before the General Synod in February of 2026. So they're busy beavering away in 2025. However, point number 3, the doctrine or the canon law of the Church of England still states that marriage is between one man and one woman. So I think that's canon law number 20, but do correct me on that. So they've got to get round that because they've got to get a 2/3 majority in Synod. So that's the House of Bishops, the House of Clergy, and the House of Laity. At the moment, they just don't stand, forgive the phraseology here, but they don't stand a snowball chance in hell about that, of getting that through. So they've got to get round that one somehow. They've got to twist and turn and duck and dive. And then in their plan, if a church supports LLF, it will add a LLF tag on its church website. So it'll have a little LLF tag, and presumably they'll say things like, we are a welcoming and affirming church and we support LLF, but they will have an LLF tag. And presumably churches that don't support LLF won't have an anti-LLF tag. They'll just be a traditional Church of England. And that's the 4th point. The 5th point, what about those who don't agree? Well, interestingly enough, in the document, and I'll put a link to the document below, but those who don't agree, they talk about delegated episcopal ministry. Bit of a mouthful, like most Church of England things. You know, why not? Why say something simple when you could say it more complicated? So they talk about, basically, it's people who don't agree with them. Delegated episcopal ministry. It's really for clergy. Basically, the C of E is trying to flesh this out. So watch this space. They haven't decided what it's going to look like yet. Just add to the mix the Church of England Evangelical Council, the CEEC, that's in the mix. Then there's an overarching group of Orthodox and evangelicals called the Alliance. Again, they haven't been inactive and they're busy working away in the background. So watch this space. I'm having volume problems on my YouTube, but I've kept this down to below 5 minutes. If you like this, give me a like. Subscribe to my channel. I'm now over 500. I really appreciate that. We're up to about 503 people. Again, we're small and select, But thank you very much. Thank you for your time. God bless you.